Alright, today's video we're looking at the TFW Minasbad Filipino sword. This is a single edge blade. We'll do some cut testing with it, take a look at some specs on it. Let's get to it. Getting right into it, this one is 27.5 inches overall length. It is a 20.5 inch blade. So we're going to see a false edge on the back here where you see it dips down the sun. It is a very wide upper third. So something about Filipino blades that you'll see ones that were used more for utility, that are more for hacking and just overall just utility in general. Then you'll see more blades that are really designed more for combat. This one arguably could be either. It is more and balanced properly more for actual slashing and thrusting, it having a tip. Some of the bolos you'll see don't even have a tip on them, so you know they're utility blades. So we're looking at that 27.5 inches, 20-inch blade with a big old upper third right on the belly for slashing. We've got an ironwood or kamagong handle, and then we have a steel ferrule, and then this cool face on here as well. The pommel's peened. It's very clear that the pommel's peened on this one. We're looking at 5160 high carbon steel for TFW blades. When they started as a company, they started exclusively with Filipino swords from all over the different islands of the Philippines. They have a wide selection of that as well, and now they branched out into other cultures. They have Celtic swords. They have different broadswords as well, and butterfly knives. So a lot to offer there from this company. Solid blade. The length on the handle is 4 1/4 inches. So not exactly a tiny handle. Pretty solid on the grip. There is the TFW logo stamped into their blades. They stamp them in there for all their blades. A little bit of a short cross guard just so your hand doesn't run up on thrusting when you are thrusting with this one, and it's just overall retention. I wouldn't call the handle small. It's a pretty average size handle, honestly. Definitely not as small as some Viking swords that we've reviewed before. So overall, pretty solid blade. It is balanced really well, primarily for slashing, especially with it having a really wide upper third of the blade. But the stability on thrusting is still fine. You can still manipulate into parries and other things like that really easily, so not super heavy. 1 pound, 12.7 ounces. Again, a single edge blade. The cutout you see here is just a false edge. It is not sharpened. You could potentially sharpen it. I don't know if we actually do offer that with doing back edges. You'd have to check with customer service. But if that's something you want, if you do want to do that for more back of the blade strikes and things like that for cut testing, you can contact customer service and ask. But if you're doing this just for a collection and for a sword stand and you're just periodically going to do cut testing with it, don't really need a back edge on it. Another thing to say about it is, like I said before, the manipulation is pretty simple with it. It's easy to get around and to actually move with it. So even though it's, over a pound, it's definitely not overbearing, and the point of balance is pretty solid. You're obviously going to feel that in the upper third. You can just see it from the blade profile itself that you're going to feel that in the upper third. But getting the blade back around is actually not that hard, especially if you can actually move with the blade. So that's what I really say about it. The cutting did really well. So we're using cardboard for our cutting as we're out of tatami mats. So with this one, it slashed really well. The downward strikes are obvious. The uppercuts did really well, especially on the backhand. The forehand uppercuts, was pretty impressed with that. The edges on these blades. So people always ask if blades that we have are hair shaving sharp. We consider this one categorized as battle ready, meaning that the edge is functional. It's functionally sharp. And just to say, as a personal comment of it, TFW doesn't mess around with edges. So when you get this, it's going to be very sharp. It's categorized as battle ready, but it's going to be very sharp when you get it, and probably oiled too. So I would say definitely pay attention when you're moving with one of these. This is a wood scabbard, and what looks like cord is actually rattan, which is a vine. It's the skin of rattan, and it wraps around either side. Pretty traditional for a scabbard like this. Something signature that TFW offers is a belt loop that is screwed into the scabbard. We will get more up close looks at this. I know the sun's a little off right now, but you can see the 2 screws right there. And virtually, really any belt you put through here is going to be able to run through, meaning you could carry this directly on an actual leather belt if you're wearing it for a reenactment, if you're wearing it at a Ren fair. But you can also take this and bring it down toward the hip which should actually be easier to draw. That's the other thing, is this has a lip on it. So you can see there's a lip on here that is going over the guard. So this is going to keep it from getting out. There's a little bit of shaking to it, but that's pretty normal. You can get out of it by tugging on it a little bit, and then you don't have the retention at all. You also have the option just to unscrew it and just have more of a traditional scabbard. This is an extra feature which I think is great for safety and also for storing blades, so you know it's not going to slide out at any time. But if you're wondering, can you get over it? Yes, you could draw this out and tug on it, and then you can get the blade out very easily. I like that feature, again, just for storing it as well. You may get some scratches on it. You could also lift this up and kind of pull on it and slide it over it and then get it out if you want it to be a little bit nicer to that. But if you don't really care, then you're kind of golden with that, and then that clicks right into place. All right, let's go and take a look at some up close looks of this blade in the scabbard, not the scabbard. We'll get some sun on it. It's sun's hitting really well right now, so we'll definitely get some good specs on it. So let's get to that. Taking a look at this blade, you'll see the awesome face they have on here with the peened pommel. A little bit more up close look of the ironwood or the kamagong. You're gonna have black and brown for kamagong. That's really normal. You could oil this a little bit. That wouldn't actually be a bad idea. Steel ferrule, full grip on here. And then looking at the blade profile, again, the edge is great on these, and the back of it, this is completely dulled out, and you'll see the tip is reinforced. So TFW reinforces the tips of their swords. You'll see that runs down to the spine, and then of course back to the handle. I'll give you another view of the face on here because it's really cool. All right, then we just have in the scabbard as well. You can see there is the belt loop with the attachment. You can virtually get really any belt through there of that width. You got plenty of thickness there too. You'll see the screws. They're just regular old screws that you can unscrew if you choose. And then rattan wrapped, running all the way through. Some people also ask what the notches are for. They're just for gripping that with the left hand, so that when you're drawing it, you can slide the right hand onto the handle, obviously. All right, let's take a look at the cut testing. Did a couple downward strikes with it and a couple uppercuts. We're using cardboard. Once again, if you don't know, we're on tatami mats, and they're really, really hard to find right now. So a lot of places are completely sold out. So we're double wrapping cardboard and using it as mock tatami, which is actually working really well, especially for blades that are as sharp as this one. So let's take a look at the cut testing. All right, so thanks for joining me for this blade review, the TFW Minasbad Filipino sword, or also referred to as a bolo. So single edge blade, very sharp, great point of balance, and actually the favorite part is the handle for this one. That's my favorite part. The kamagong is nice and secure, and also helps with when you're sweating. It's more of a flat handle, so definitely a great feature on a blade like this. If you like TFW blades or just Southeast Asian blades in general, leave us a comment below what's your favorite. We always read the comments and put your opinions and stuff into what blades we review. As always, subscribe to the channel, like this video. If you want to see more, let us know. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you in the next one.